Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting for May 18th, 2023. We welcome you. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And at this time, I'd like to call on Ms. Peters for the invocation.
Thank you. As we've celebrated our military and teachers recently, I came across this quote on social media and thought it seemed fitting. With his permission, Captain Spencer Austin is a decorated captain in the U.S. Navy and has led ships of sailors, and he had made this statement to a fellow teacher. I think of teachers the same way I do soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Teachers serve just like we do, but don't get near enough the thanks that is deserved. You take care of our most precious treasure, our kids. Thank you for what you do and giving our kids what they need most, a great education. And I'll also add they are both graduates of Currituck County High School. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This evening, I'd like to call up Jarvisburg Elementary School, sorry, excuse me, and ask Miss Iorio if she would come up, and also her student, one of the students who was on the Battle of the Books, Julia Cobb. So if they'd come forward and lead us in the pledge.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So tonight, we have a special treat. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. It's the Battle of the Books, and we have the 2023 top place winners for elementary school. And Julia, I'm going to turn it over to you, and then we'll talk again some more.
Ms. Parker, will you please come up?
Hi, I'm Molly Parker, and the JES Media Specialist and Coach of our first place Battle of the Books team for Currituck County Schools. Yay! I'm especially proud of our JES team. They worked so hard, knew their stuff, and outscored every team in head-to-head competition. A big thanks to all the staff that made this competition happen. Judges, timekeepers, our tech staff, moderator, our bus drivers, and all the elementary Battle of the Books coaches, and of course, all the students that persevered through 10 books chosen by the state. And we all love data, so here's some Battle of the Books data. 6 schools, 65 students, 10 books, 2,864 pages, 155 correct answers to very tricky comprehension questions, supporting literacy and the importance of reading, priceless. So congratulations one more time to my team. They did awesome. And can we get a picture?
Yes,
okay?
but in just a second, because I'm going to call all their names.
Wonderful.
And I want them to come up when I call their names, so if you'll come up front there, and we'll get some pictures then. But first of all, I'd like to give a big congratulations to Miss Parker. I taught her in 3rd grade, so I'm really excited about this. But anyway, today's her birthday.
And I'm proud of Miss Parker, too, because she's my niece.
So Julia Cobb is already up. Oh, no, she's sat down again. Okay. So Amelia Fotick, Cassidy Contreras, Colin Fotick, Emma Parker, Hayden Perkins, Janae Pendleton, Julia Cobb, Max Loftus, Peaches Wright, Sammy Dubeck, Tatum Anderson, and Weston Overman. Y'all come up here.
We should actually stand up.
Okay.
Sure we can get everybody. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to invite. With Ms. Dwan, she was our moderator. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Dwan.
Greetings. Make sure I can see you. Perfect. Thank you. Congratulations.
Great job. Congratulations.
And now Mrs. Iorio is going to give us the spotlight for Jarvisburg. If that wasn't enough, she's got more.
Yeah, lots of stuff. So good evening, Chairwoman Kraft, board members, and Dr. Lutz. I stand before you this evening elated to bring one of the many accomplishments our students have been successful with this year at Jarvisburg. Tonight we have Mrs. Shauna Tumlinson, our computer lab facilitator, and a few fifth grade students to present to you. First, before we bring the students back out, a little shirt change, I would like to share that Mrs. Tumlinson began working in this role as a long-term substitute. This role is shared between 3 schools, Jarvisburg, Central, and Griggs, and she served in that capacity for about a year as a long-term sub. During that time, it became very apparent that our students were flourishing with her instructional practices and delivery. She was teaching them, and they were learning. While continuing to work as a substitute and having many conversations with Ms. Tumlinson, she agreed that teaching students in this capacity was her niche. I'm proud to say that she decided to pursue her education degree at COA and has since been hired as the full-time computer lab facilitator at Jarvisburg, Central, and Griggs. She has been a positive role model for our students, showing them that learning never stops. At this time, I would like to turn the spotlight over to Mrs. Tumlinson and our students so that they may share their learning on coding and algorithms.
Oh, we changed.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shauna. I am the computer teacher at Jarvisburg, Griggs, and Central, and I love it, and I love them all. And December is Hour of Code month, so leading up to Coding Online, I decided to start small, hands-on projects. We started with one word, algorithm, and what it means. It's basically a list of steps used to finish a task. How do we use that in coding? How do we use algorithms in our everyday lives, like brushing our teeth and getting ready for school? So some of the activities we did some activities with binary code. We coded our initials using beads. We did some origami. We coded with Legos, and we worked up to code.org. So I asked Emma, Sammy, and Cassidy to share with you some of the things that they learned or enjoyed about our activities. Away, ladies.
My favorite part of our algorithm unit was coding on code.org. Code.org is a coding website with a game called Dance Party where you code different dances to make a monster dance. It requires a lot of patience because you have to get the code exactly right if you want the monster to dance, but it is worth it because it is fun.
Great job.
My favorite part of our algorithm unit was coding in your own initials in binary code. Miss T gave us 2 different colored beads and we put them in the coding order to make our initials. We made the code how a computer would see it. Here are the ones I made. It shows my initials SAD, which is kind of sad.
Good job.
My favorite part of our algorithm unit was creating the origami. We followed complicated steps to write cute animals into objects. My favorite origami that I created was the elephant. The elephant was the most challenging, but the result was worth it. Here is an example of something I made.
Good. Great job.
So for all you history buffs who know, we're wearing
Rosie the Riveter. And Rosie the Riveter came to be a symbol of all women working in the war industries during World War II. The red bandana is a symbol of leadership, compassion for others, courage, and overall being. Mrs. Tomlinson is a shining example and role model who empowers Jarvisburg Elementary students like Emma, Samantha, and Cassidy every day. Mrs. Tomlinson is a real-life character who models an inspirational symbol of hope and strength for all young women. Emma, Cassidy, and Samantha are Jaguar leaders who have courage and compassion for others every single day. We are proud that they represent Jarvisburg Elementary School. Thank you, Chairman Kraft, Dr. Lutz, and the Board of Education for the opportunity to spotlight some of the wonderful things happening at Jarvisburg Elementary. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Okay. At this time, we need to get in a...
Take a picture.
Oh, pictures. Okay, sorry. Do you want us to...
Molly.
We can stand.
Let's do this again. Come on.
We can stand.
Yes, back up a little bit. Back up, back up, back up, back up. And great eye contact, speakers. All right, thank you.
Yes, y'all did great.
Was wonderful.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Good job.
Good job, Jack Myers.
See ya. Weren't they great?
They were.
At this time, I need to get approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And so motion carries. The agenda is approved. Now we are going to have a work session review from Dr. Lutz.
All right. Our work session, two items that were not on tonight's agenda that we discussed were budget amendments, and we also went through the first reading of the spring policies.
And now we have student board member reports, Sophia and Scarlett. Who's going first?
I am. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Central Elementary. The Eagles are approaching the end of the school year, flying high as we prepare for the EOGs and district assessments. We have had an eventful school year with many events, including Special Olympics, Torch Run, Field Day, Title I night, and field trips for our students, but are working hard in the classroom to wrap up a successful year. Most importantly, we got to celebrate our teachers and staff all week last week, showing them just how much they mean to the Eagle family. All students across Currituck County schools finish strong and reach for the stars as you prepare for your EOGs, EOCs, and all other state and local assessments. Go to Currituck. CCHS. Congratulations to the following COA graduates: Carly Brown, Haley Drame, Christopher East, Kenneth Frederick, Gracie Hill, Joseph Laputte, JC Lester, Jenny LaMarche, and Darla Macio. CCHS held its inaugural Career Signing Day event. It was a great way to celebrate our students, and we are certain that it will continue to grow each and every year. CCMS. We recently had our FFA end-of-year banquet on May 5th. Our band concert is tonight at 6:30, and our chorus concert is in conjunction with the high school on May 23rd. This Friday, we are hosting our 8th grade semi-formal from 6 to 8. Griggs Elementary. Griggs students are working hard to finish the school year strong. They are preparing for the EOY test by celebrating and encouraging our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. We have a pep rally planned, goodies ready to hand out, and lots of support to prepare them for their testing. We know they'll do amazing. June 2nd is our last PTO Carnival night at GES from 5:30 to 7:30. Come join us. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week. We celebrated our amazing staff by playing a game of Survivor. Throughout the week, we had challenges and even hid idols throughout the school to increase their points for the week. We even had Beach 104 come and help us celebrate. We had so much fun, and we're already planning for next year. Jarvisburg Elementary. As students and teachers are preparing to finish the school year, we have a lot to be grateful for. Throughout the year, our students enjoyed field trips, assemblies, competitions, and PBIS awards and incentives. Our PTA is a constant support of all our endeavors, and we appreciate them. We're looking forward to Field Day, as well as the end-of-the-year awards and promotions. All dates are posted to the school's website and on social media. We hope everybody has a great summer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start off with JP Knapp Early College. JP Knapp Spartans are excited to celebrate our class of 2023 seniors and super seniors at the College of the Albemarle 60th annual commencement ceremony held on Wednesday, May 10th. 52 Spartans walked across the stage, each receiving an associate's degree, career certificate, or career diploma. This number represents 80% of our graduating class. Each individual Spartan was recognized Tuesday evening at our senior recognition ceremony, and we look forward to celebrating them all again on Friday evening at our JPKA graduation ceremony, scheduled for 7 p.m. in the COA Performing Arts Auditorium. Next will be Knott's Island Elementary. As we approach the end of the 2022-23 school year, we are still working hard and will finish strong. Our first grade students are excited to visit Currituck County High School on May 24th to conclude a collaborative English language arts activity with Miss Person's 12th grade senior English students. The seniors have been creating personalized children's picture books based on the friendship they developed when they visited the first graders at Knott's Island on March 13th. We are thankful for this annual event and know that both the CCHS students and the Knott's Island Elementary students benefit greatly. All of our end-of-year activities are posted on the Knott's Island social media and website. Next will be Moyock Elementary. After an eventful Teacher Appreciation Week in which our families really showed their love for teachers, Moyock Elementary is wrapping up the 22-23 school year as we speak. We have end-of-grade tests coming up, awards program scheduled June 5th through the 7th, and a student fun day right before the last day of school. Next is Moyock Middle. Moyock Middle celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week with lots of love for our teachers and several spirit days. Our staff enjoyed surprising the students by dressing up like students on the Dress Like a Teacher Spirit Day. We hosted our annual 8th grade semi-formal dance and everyone had an amazing evening. The spring band concert highlighted the growth of our musicians, and our 8th grade band members are looking forward to the annual Busch Gardens field trip. And last but not least is Shawboro Elementary. Our Mustang students and staff are working hard to finish the year strong. We are so grateful for each and every token of appreciation that was shared with us last week during Teacher Appreciation Week. We have such a wonderful PTO who works hard for our school community. Please look for information on all of our upcoming awards and promotion programs through our Facebook and through Class Dojo. Overall, this has been a fantastic year for our students. They have worked hard and learned a ton this year.
Thank you, Sophia and Scarlett. We appreciate that. It is now time for public comment session. The public comment session is a time when an individual or group can address the board about our schools. This is not a time to speak about issues or concerns involving identifiable personnel or students. Matters of this nature should be submitted in writing to the superintendent, and your concerns will be addressed. Individuals or groups will be called in the order in which they signed up and will be asked to limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Please state your name and address when you come up. And tonight we have 4. First is James Mims.
Good evening, board. James Mims is my name and address is 105 Chestnut Drive. Let me start by recognizing the positive encouragement and recognition of the wonderful children of this county. Those accolades do not go unnoticed. Now, I have some concerns tonight regarding what took place Monday night. I don't know about each of you, but I feel the expert from Washington, D.C. basically alluded that we don't need another elementary school for at least 4 years, and that there was adequate infrastructure to support yet another 177 homes. What I want to know is, why? Why was there no expert testimony right there to articulate otherwise? Why do our taxes need raised to pay for this school now if we just allowed an expert to walk all over this county? Please don't get me wrong. I feel we need the school, but I also feel let down and feel that there was no greater time to express that need under expert testimony than when 177 homes are on the agenda. This could very well have been prevented. Board, we must do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Denise Hall.
Good evening, Denise Hall, 121 Brumsey Landing Drive, Moyock. And He just stole all my thunder. So I don't think I can add anything to that, except for I saw some of you all in the audience Monday night, and I don't, in my opinion, there is no one that is more expert, excuse me, on the children and our schools than all of you sitting up here. I don't understand why no one spoke up and said anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Robert Griffin.
Good evening. Robert Griffin, 436 Poplar Branch Road in Poplar Branch. Recently, this board approved a resolution to send to Raleigh about creating a career diploma track or an alternative diploma track that was presented by COA, if I'm not mistaken. And my understanding is that that did not receive much support when it got to Raleigh. So my question is our board going to give up on that idea? Students who want a high school diploma with the intention of going to work after high school, right now they have no advocate in Raleigh. They do not have an advocate. We have a curriculum that is written and assessed for students planning to attend a college and a university. And that's all it's intended for. In education, we are often told that what we do should be easily accessible to 80% of the students that are in front of us. Do 80% of our students go to college? No, they do not. If you look at statewide data, what is the passing rate on the end of course scores and the end of grade exams that we give? Is it 80%? It's not even close to that. Not even close. So that brings me to, there must be 4 possibilities going on here. Number one, maybe 80% is not a reasonable expectation. Number two, maybe our teachers are not effective. Number three, maybe our assessments are not well written. Or number four, maybe our curriculum is not appropriate. So my question to this board is this board going to give up on trying to do something that's in the best interest of the students that we serve? And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. And finally, Jeffrey Sodoma.
Hi, my name's Jeff Sodoma, 101 Stepside Lane in Moyock, North Carolina, 27958. 4 things tonight, and I'll try to keep it under the 3 minutes. I came a little late to the realization that something big had happened at the county commissioner's special meeting, and evidently there has been a delay. It's been decided that the new Tulse Creek Elementary School is going to be delayed by 2 years, possibly more. I don't really know what happened at the county commissioners meeting. The minutes have not been released yet. I'm trying to figure out if this is true, that this school has actually been delayed by 2 years. And I'd like to get into more discussions about the impact on the community, negative impact on the community, if that school is delayed, especially in light of the other speakers' comments. If there are another 150 plus homes that are being approved that would feed into that school. Second issue I'd like to bring up is on several of the groups in Facebook that I'm a member of, there's been a release of drawings for the new Tulse Creek Elementary School. I don't know if those are the official drawings. I'm assuming they're 30% progress drawings. I can't find those on any official school websites, school board websites. Just in looking at those with my background, I can already tell you that there's going to be some traffic issues. I'm a little bit concerned that there's no connection with the surrounding neighborhood around that school. I don't see any ball fields, soccer fields, anything like that. And as a resident of Glenmore, the area closest to that new school, I'm quite frankly a little bit concerned about the very close proximity of the school building to the homes on Avset. The third thing I'd like to talk about is the fact that with the Tulse Creek Elementary School, we're building a school that's going to impact Moyock and Currituck County for the next 50-plus years. I'd really like to see some coordination with the surrounding community. I think it's needed now. Just by viewing those drawings, seeing things like the lack of any connection to the sidewalks in the neighborhood immediately adjacent to that area, the lack of any crossing, protected crossings to the library is a little bit disconcerting. I'd like to put out some ideas that we might want to consider having a playground constructed by the county and the school district together, and other things. My time is at its end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, we have DJ Kopese, the Executive Director from the YMCA Partnership presentation. I hope I didn't make a big mess of your name.
You got it like spot on. And that's, it's amazing. So, thank you. Oh, absolutely. No problem. Thank you, Renee. So before I get to my presentation, I do just want to take a moment to say thank you to the board, the teachers, the staff, especially the board. Like, I know what you all do is not easy. I understand that. I've been in that seat back home where I'm from in Jersey, and it's not easy. I just do appreciate everything you do. It's not an easy job. The staff is so supportive of us at the Y. Dr. Lutz, Ms. Dowdy, very supportive of us. So I just want to say thank you before we do get to our presentation.
Thank you.
All right, so what we're just going to talk about is like bridging the gap, and that's what we do at our aftercare program with the Y. We want to close that educational gap between the end of the school day and then the kids getting home, and just create more learning opportunities for the kids of the county. Oop. You gotta scroll through it. Yeah. Oh, there you go. So as people in the audience have mentioned, the county is growing, and we are aware of that. And just by our 2022 to 2023 numbers, we saw an increase in our participation by 26%, and we are anticipating that to grow even more into the next school year. And we are ready to serve. We can't wait to get in and see the new addition to Moyock Elementary. It looks beautiful from the outside. I can't wait to get on the inside to see it. But I am privy to the old way the old buildings look too. They are just beautiful architecture as well. We're extending the learning day, as I mentioned before. You know, we have a new social and emotional learning curriculum that we launched this year and called Bell Excel. And to date, we've logged over 5,000 hours of SEL learning in our after-school program in the county. And we want to make sure that the aftercare program continues to be a place that everybody can attend and everybody can belong, and that's part of our financial assistance, our Open Doors program. A third of our participants receive financial assistance, and this year, school year alone, we've given out $30,000 in financial assistance to the kids in our aftercare program. And we just wanted to show some cool pictures, and I think our school representative is in one of those pictures right there. She did not know she was in that, but we love Scarlett, and the kids love her too at the Y. So I just wanted to showcase some of the, what we do in aftercare, some fun, some play, some learning, swim lessons, everything that we do. We do have a success story. I want to bring up Mr. Chaz McDaniel here. He was in our program. Now he works for us. I just wanted to share his story with the board.
Hi, I'm Chaz McDaniel. I basically grew up in the YMCA. I was born and raised in Loser City, so from a very young age, I was at the Albemarle YMCA up until high school when I started volunteering because I was a part of the ROTC program. The child care program at the time offered me the opportunity to volunteer so I could get hours under my belt for the ROTC program. After that, once I graduated, they actually offered me a job, and I've been working there for the past 8 years now. I've seen kids come and go, and even now, kids that are in middle school or high schools, they'll still come up to me. They'll say my nickname. My nickname is Frosty to the kids. So I still get, hey, Frosty, hey, Frosty. I'll still get little things like that. There's a major impact that the Y has had from not even just me, but I've seen on other kids that the Y has had on small communities all the way up to big communities.
Wow.
So if we just want to leave some time for the board to ask any questions that you may have about our program.
Hi, how are you? I've been waiting to talk to you.
Frosty.
You.
Yeah, man.
So, my name is Kelly Peters, and I just wanted to know, we have a real need at our Knott's Island Elementary School location. You know, logistically, I know how wonderful the YMCA is, and it is a great opportunity for our kids over here. But we just don't have that on Knott's Island for that school to, come over here. So is there any way we can get some something going on, maybe perhaps over there? Start a real conversation and work towards a goal. I know I've talked to many parents over there, and they are very excited, even if it's just after school. With our time change, I think, our school starts pretty early, so I think a lot of parents are able to drop them off, but it's that after, school care that we're in real need of. So that's my question, is hopefully we can start working on that, because that's really important to a lot of people over there.
Sure, and did you want? Oh, so Dr. Lutz and Renee and I, we've been having this conversation, and we are exploring it, because I know there is a need over on Knott's Island, and we want to make sure the Y is making the best decisions it can to serve the community, but then also knowing that coming out of COVID, we are still recovering out of that. Our Y alone here in Currituck is scheduled to lose about $250,000 this year, so we're just still trying to recover before we take on anything additional, but we are always having those conversations.
Well, great. Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for all you do.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
In addition to that, we obviously have a large association. So our Princess Anne is actually the closest, and we have current child care employees who actually live on Knott's Island. So that is also an option that we're exploring. So maybe our Y here might not be able to support, but our sistering Y would be able to support. So that's another conversation that we can continue to have.
We would probably, right, with transportation, just getting them there.
Correct.
And that
exactly.
Creed, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about at Creed's Elementary.
Yep.
Correct, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Well, great, thank you.
I have a question too. So I had a parent reach out that their child goes to Central, and they were hoping they could get a transfer approved to go to Shawboro, which, Shawboro's really crowded, so that's going to be very challenging. But their reason was the Y did not offer before school care for Central, but they did for Shawboro, and they need that. They use your after school care, and they loved it. Lots of good things they had to say about it. Is there any way you could expand on the before, the after at the schools that are not receiving that?
It all goes to, and I think Alec can agree to this, it's the numbers, because we've had that same request from parents in the past about before care, but when we end up getting one person, 2 people sign up, and we have to have a minimum of 2 counselors there, it gets to not be feasible for us. But again, as the county grows and more kids are added, that need is going to increase as more people are working. We look at that year over year.
Well, I know the parents often make arrangements in the summer, so if you could reach out to them, maybe you'd have a bunch for next year.
Yeah, if you want to share their information, we'll be glad to reach out to them.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Ms. Rose.
In terms of numbers at each school, do you have those, or is that something we need to go through Renee and?
I have those. In total or per site?
Per school.
Per school. So Moyac has actually capped us at 30, and we are pushing 37. We couldn't say no to a few. So we are pushing 37 there. At Sharboro Elementary, do you have the most recent for Sharboro? 38 there. With how many in the morning? 20, and then we have an extra 12 in the morning for Moyac. And then at Griggs Elementary, I think that we have 11 registered there. And at Central, the last number I seen was 21. In total, we should have about 118 students.
And we don't offer it at Jarvisburg or Knott's Island, is that correct?
We do not at the moment.
Okay, and our before care is at Moyac and Sharboro?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Ms. Parker, we provide a bus from
Correct.
Oh, good
So we
information.
serve Jarvisburg, but they get transferred over to Griggs.
Thank you.
Any other?
Any other questions?
Their goal is to expand at Moyac once their expansion is done.
Well, I think that that's a
August.
super smart idea of what we're doing with Jarvisburg. If we don't have enough, that we're just doing the bus right to Griggs. I think that's super smart to do that, and then it still works for parents.
And the Creeds, if that's something we explore for Knott's Island, that ride to Creeds is about 18 minutes, so it wouldn't be too bad. And it's on the way home for most parents coming from Virginia, where we live. So
So we can absolutely continue to have that conversation.
great.
Yeah, we just want to serve. At the end of the day, that's why we're here. We're here to serve this community.
Absolutely. And I do believe that we spoke about a survey, so possibly surveying that community to see the need and the numbers and getting that
Absolutely. I
feedback.
was going to suggest that if that's something we can look into, which I know on my own survey, it's yes, 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 yes. So, but thank you.
Very good.
Okay.
All right.
Any other?
Very good. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. We
Thank you.
appreciate you serving our students, and
Absolutely.
huge win for them and a huge help to the parents.
And what a story you have to tell.
Yes. It's
Renee and I
awesome.
are on the YMCA board, and DJ does an outstanding job with the board, well organized, good meetings, and a lot of focus, so
Good.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now Ms. Arrington is going to come up and give us some information about school safety update.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and Dr. Lutz. It's my pleasure this evening to give you an update on school safety. The first thing I would like to highlight this evening is the Rave Panic button. The Rave Panic button is financially supported by the Department of Public Instruction. This is for staff only, and you can see the bullets there, but again, I'm going to talk away from the slide. So all staff would have access to the active assailant and fire button. So for example, if there was at NAP a fire in B building, a teacher could press and hold that button, and all the staff members in the campus of NAP would get notified of that, as well as the fire department, automatically through the app. So it does make for the more timely communication. Something that I did not mention earlier that I do want to point out now is, we talked about calling the secretary, making announcements and things like that. So this would just be an added layer of communication. We would still make announcements and things to provide that extra layer of safety for students. So as I said, it provides direct communication with other staff members. It provides direct communication with law enforcement or emergency management. And it also allows us to map out campuses and various areas of the campus. So when that alert button is pushed and the communication goes out, the location goes out as well, so people know not to go into that area. Currently, the app is being offered as an app on your phone, but there is a desktop application that is being piloted at this time, and they foresee that it will be ready in August for the new school year. We are also exploring metal detectors as an added layer of security. We are in the beginning stages of this, but we are looking at handhelds and the open gates that you see there pictured. So we are reaching out to other counties with regards to what they're using and what is effective for them, so that we can add that to our research and decision-making process. In addition, when we get further into the process, we will talk about and research more about policies and procedures surrounding the use of the metal detectors. And finally, we talked about lockdowns and safety within the building, but we also wanted to point out to ensure student safety outside of the building, whether it's in playgrounds or other activities during the school day, as well as extracurricular activities such as sporting events. We do have procedures in place for those things, and we will review them periodically as we do other lockdown and safety drills. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was one thing that you mentioned in the work session, for instance, a 911 button. That 911 button wouldn't necessarily go to every person that has that on their app. It would go to the people, the nurse, and the people that the principal and 911.
Correct.
Would not be like throughout the whole.
Exactly. So if there was a medical emergency, then the nurse could push that medical alert, and that would be programmed to only go to certain staff members, administrators, or if a teacher had a medical emergency in her classroom and the nurse wasn't there, the teacher could push it, the nurse would be alerted and get to the room, as well as that information going out to 911.
But the two that would be to everyone, are
the active assailant,
and fire.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this is being funded by DPI, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia.
And now we have an accreditation update. Dr. Lutz?
All right, excited to bring an update on accreditation. I believe that was a question that was even asked at our last board meeting. Where are we at? We had our meeting on April 24th with Donna Thomas from Cognia. She was here for an on-site visit. She met with our Cognia leadership team led by Virginia Arrington and Ms. Dowdy. They met with stakeholder groups that included K-12 teachers, students in grades 3-12, parents, and other administrators. They visited Griggs Elementary School and Currituck County High School for brief tours. I'm excited to announce that they approved us to move forward with the process. The coursework will begin. We have a deadline to get everything to be completed and submitted to Cognia by February 1st of 2024. And Virginia assured me that it'll be on October 1st, 2023. We are going to get our paperwork in because we want to get to the front of the lines. We're excited about the process. Ms. Thomas, when she met with our team and saw where we're at with our curricular strategic plan and our district strategic plan, they said everything is in place to move forward. And they heard a lot of consistency across the district from both administrators, teachers, and parents. So I wanted to share that good news with everyone.
And now school construction update. Dr. Lutz.
There it is. Okay. Good news continues with both of our Mayock projects. They are on time. You can see the buildings. Mayock Elementary School continues to look great, both inside and out as progress continues month over month. That would be our staging area for the cafeteria at Mayock Elementary School. That'll be the last thing that is actually finished. The interior classrooms, as you can see, are moving along. That would be the entryway. We will keep the original entry to Mayock Elementary School, but the buses will drop off at the cafeteria site. Mayock Middle School, the easier of the two projects, getting ready to put down sidewalks and sod on the outside. The exterior is basically finished except for the aesthetic areas. We're getting ready to move on to the ceiling tiles on the interior. The cafeteria itself, we are really looking forward, again, getting both of these open, both buildings, and adding sites. So, great update on the Tulls Creek site. It'll also answer a couple questions that we heard from one of our speakers. We are not delayed on the Tulls Creek site. There was discussion that there could possibly be a delay, but it will continue to move forward on schedule and set to open in 25-26 with the groundbreaking. As far as pictures and renditions, whatever is floating around, what we have up here are just that renditions. We have not progressed to some of the things that were discussed. I can assure you that sidewalks, we are intent on making sure this is a walking school for the neighborhood and having easy access for a number of reasons. One, it's great for our kids to be able to do that. We'll make sure we have our bike racks. We'll make sure we have our sidewalks. And there's plenty of discussion as well regarding the entry to the building, both off of Tulls Creek Road and also off of road across from the library, which escapes my, anyone have that name? Okay. But
Not sure.
Campus
I
Drive,
thought
yes,
it was
off of Campus Drive. So there'll be 2 entries coming in and out, and we have to actually work with the state on that to get approved. We do not have as much discretion as one would think, as everything must be approved by the bureaucracy. That was an ad lib comment, but I couldn't help myself. Okay, so again, we're very, very pleased that we're moving forward on schedule with Tulls Creek.
Yes, we are. Okay, and field trip request, again, also Dr. Lutz.
All right. Well, we've had regional golf, regional track, and state golf. And tomorrow, we will also have state track. That's not on here, but I know that we have a number of athletes heading there. I think is your daughter headed there?
She's not headed there this
Just-
time, but we have,
Next one.
we have quite a few kids. They actually left today, I think, to
Okay.
get ready. They did a parade at the school.
Yeah, the state track championship actually takes place during the school day on Friday. And we have our girls' soccer team. They were tied 0-0 at the half, and they have traveled great distance for that game as well.
Where are they?
Jacksonville.
Dixon High School. Dixon High School.
Dixon High School, where my daughter played for Currituck and got us all the way to the final 8. Hit a shot top right corner. Never forget it. It was great. Every time I drive past Dixon to go pick up my son at Wilmington, I think of that story. And the kids running around. It rained from the time I left Sharborough all the way until the game ended. It never quit raining until we drove home. And so, very nice. Nice ride home with the Dixon family that night.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the consent agenda. Do I have an approval for the or a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, a second? I'll second it. So all in favor of approving the consent agenda, specify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, so the consent agenda is approved. Okay, so we have information items. Graduation ceremony for JP Knapp Early College is May 19th, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the College of the Albemarle. Graduation ceremony for Currituck County High School is June 9th, 2023 at 7 p.m. The district end-of-year celebration and staff recognition is June 12th at 11:30 at Currituck County Middle School. Next Board of Education meeting is June 22nd, 2023, with a work session at the PLC at 4 p.m. and the regularly scheduled meeting here at the courthouse at 6:30. We're not going to do
The June 29th is a possible meeting.
okay, so we may possibly have to do a close of the fiscal year for June 29th, but at this point, we're not positive about that. And at this time, we'll start with board member comments. Ms. Peters?
Okay, well, I attended both the CCHS prom and the JPK prom. I did run into Miss Scarlett here at Knapp, and she was beautiful. I think everyone had a great time at both of them, and they were really nice, beautiful venues. So thank you, everyone. Everyone looked amazing, and thank you for everyone who made that happen at both of them. Congrats to all of, as we've been mentioning, all of our sports teams that are that are at states. I know it's always exciting. I went to the baseball game this past week. I think they were in the 16, it was a great game. It was great seeing so many of our community out there. It was a lot of people. It was a good time. I know it didn't end the way we wanted, but it was a good game. So thank you for our community for coming out and supporting. So as we come to the end of the school year, just wanted to say congratulations to our class of 2023, to all of our seniors, and to the families. We wish you well. And I just wanted to, as we've been talking at all of these meetings about safety, it is very important. I know I'm very happy to know that we can hopefully move forward with these resource officers in the schools. It's very important to us, and I know to many parents who've reached out. So thank you, and thank you to everyone who comes out and speaks up, especially parents and community stakeholders. It's always nice to have people, share your thoughts in the open forum and in the correct way. Thank you.
Ms. Parker?
Thank you to all the citizens that took the time to come out tonight. I appreciate your concern for our schools. Please continue to speak out for our students and the needs of our community. I would like to thank our county commissioners who recently approved the resource officers for all of our elementary schools. And again, thank you to the citizens who advocated for that safety measure. It is an example of the power that we as citizens hold when we join together and we have a voice. And when we support students and when we support public education, we can't go wrong. Lastly, at April's meeting, I did recuse myself from voting on the 23-24 budget. And I did that because there was some concern in the community over my husband's role in athletics. I did ask Dr. Lutz and Ms. Kraft, and they checked with our school attorney, and we have received a written, detailed analysis concerning recusal. My husband's occupation does not require me to recuse myself from voting on the budget. I certainly cannot vote on anything involving his contract or his employment, but general athletic funding does not fall under that category. I do want to be candid and let the citizens know that I take my position on the board seriously, and if I ever feel the slightest conflict, then I will recuse myself. At the same time, if I feel strongly about an issue, I am going to vote. And I think about the track as an example. The track was a huge expenditure that went under capital outlay that the board supported. I would have voted on that because to many people, people see the track as an athletic purchase, and I see the track as much more than that. 2 schools use that track for PE classes every day. ROTC uses that track. The Special Olympics uses that track. The track is where our graduation ceremony is. So I just ask citizens if they have concerns about that to just please contact me personally and try to look at the bigger picture that sometimes that some of our venues or most of our venues in this, we're a small county, those venues are used for many things. But again, if you have a question, just please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Banks?
Yeah, just echo what Ms. Parker and Ms. Peters said about the school resource officers. We did meet with the sheriff and some county employees about getting the SROs. Right now, it's in the budget. It hasn't been officially approved yet, but it looks like hopefully we'll have SROs in all the elementary schools. So that is a good plus for us. So.
Okay. Ms. Rose?
So, I have a list. Mr. Sedona, you were correct in being confused and hearing that the school had been put on the back burner. And I too heard that returning from Raleigh the night that the commissioners had their work session on it. And, the reasoning was they wanted the cost to come down, they wanted interest rates to come down. They did not want to burden the citizens any more than they had to with a tax rate. However, over the course of the last 2 weeks, they did come up with a plan. And at this last Monday night's commissioners meeting, I did come and I did speak, and I was not at the work session, but as soon as I spoke at the general meeting, they said, the school's back on track. So they have worked that out, and it is still on track to open in about 2 years, 2 years from August, so 2.5, I guess. But I, too, was very concerned about that because we do have a lot of growth going on. I think we need that school. I've been able to attend several school events in the last month, including Central's Field Day and the FFA Banquet and some sporting events. Extra special events that I went to was the COA graduation, where we had several students from JP Knapp and Currituck County High School get their associate's degree before they got their high school diploma. That's pretty awesome, I think. I loved our first annual senior walk. I was at Central when they came through, and I saw the seniors high-fiving the little kids and the little kids beaming, and the big kids were so proud of themselves, and I think that was a great thing. Thanks to all that got that going. I heard lots of positives about that. I also was real happy to be able to attend the career signing, Air First, where we saw people who were enlisting in the military, people who were joining an apprenticeship, they were going to community colleges. They were there with their families, and that was exciting. I hope that we can see a celebration to recognize those who are heading to the four-year colleges and universities. We're proud of all our kids, whether they're going to work, whether they're enlisting or enrolling in a college. I'm very proud of our 2023 graduates. And one more thing, an alumni recognition. Someone else mentioned earlier about another alumni person. I think it was Kelly. But Ashley Bassanite is a CCHS graduate of 2009. Her mother works over in the clerk of court's office, Debbie Bassanite. You may know her. She graduated from Elizabeth City State in 2013, and she was a software engineer for Boeing for several years. But her real love was designing homes and doing carpentry work. And so she's turned that into a career. She is going to be one of the teams on HGTV beginning June 4th at 9:00 p.m., and the winning team will get $50,000. They're going to do a beach house makeover. So tune in for our very own Ashley Bassanite. She has worked very hard, and she's very passionate about what she does. Thank you all.
Thanks. And I'm sorry, real quick, thanks for bringing up the senior walk. I, too, had a lot of feedback from parents about that, and I think, Ms. Rose, it was your idea last year, but I've had a lot of people reach out to say that they really hope the board keeps that. It's a great new tradition, and they hope that sticks around.
And one more thing, I saw Dr. Durham with the group at Central, and he was high-fiving those little kids, too. I told him not to get any ideas. Right there at Currituck County High School is where we needed him.
That was Miss Dowdy, did a fine job of organizing that.
Awesome.
So, a couple things before I add a couple remarks. So, regarding where we at with the alternate diploma track, we've run into a problem at the state level with legislation with what we agreed to as a state with the ESSA, also known as the No Child Left Behind Act. Spoke to Senator Hanning actually earlier in the week, and it's pending with the legal team and DPI and the Senate right now at this point in time. But I have been following up on that. But until we change ESSA and change the No Child Left Behind language, it could be quite problematic. It was also mentioned the Career Signing Day was great. We had our first ever job fair here, and we found several employees. Thanks to Ms. Lasher and Ms. Boyer and your team for putting that together. The first one is always the hardest. We had a nice turnout. Our whole admin team was there, very welcoming. It was a nice time not only to get employees, but spend a little bit of time just building relationships. Don't forget to check the social media websites for the end-of-year activities. They are up to date and they are rolling. And shout out to Anita Rubino. She is our Teacher of the Year, a very fine choice, and our TA of the Year, Chris Carroll. Ms. Rubino is at the high school, and Mr. Carroll is at Scarborough.
So there's an advantage and a disadvantage to being last. They stole my thunder. So all of what they said, I won't go through that again. I visited all our schools this month, some of them more than once. The FFA banquet was a huge success, and it was great. The prom, I didn't get to JP Knapp, I was out of town, but the CCHS prom was great. Our sports teams, you continue to excel. I didn't dare mention individual teams because I'd miss somebody. The CTE team, thank you so much for the first ever career signing day. That was wonderful. It was yesterday. Really enjoyed that. There's just so many events happening that show off Currituck schools. And lastly, since our April meeting, We celebrated National Principals Day, Teacher Appreciation Week, Nurses Day, Administration Assistant Day, and probably a few more that I've missed. But I want to say that we applaud and appreciate each and every one of our staff, of our faculty and staff. They work tirelessly to serve our students, and they're the wheels that keep us turning and make us look good. And so I just want to thank you. And with that, do I have a motion? Do you need to say something?
I did. Despite bringing this certificate up here, I almost missed it. What we have here, thank you for allowing this. This is a certificate of appreciation from the state for the Purple Star Award. Last year, we had one building. It was Mayark Elementary School. This year, we had 5. Miss Arrington went and represented us at the state level. Mayark Elementary, Knott's Island Elementary, Sharborough Elementary, Currituck County Middle School, and Currituck County High School. And so we are proud to support our military families, and I did not want to miss that opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.